Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to your program, your all-new program, the Ummah. Tonight, you guys, we're addressing issues, pressing issues, interesting issues, beneficial issues, addressing, facing, confronting the Muslim world today. From all around the world, from Nigeria to Pakistan, from the United States to South Asia, you guys are bringing you interesting news pieces, and not just news pieces, but interesting and beneficial, uplifting stories of what is facing the Muslim world from all around the world. So having said that, you guys, thank you for tuning in to Huda TV as usual, and thank you for supporting your new program, the Ummah Tonight. Having said that, you guys, if you're down there in Nigeria, please support Jaiz Bank because they have sponsored this program, and they certainly are our generous friends. Please visit them in Abuja and sign up for your account there. They are the first non-interest, completely, entirely Islamic bank in Nigeria, which is surprising. If you would have told me it was the first Islamic bank in America, I would be surprised, but not in Nigeria, the most populous Muslim nation. Having said that, in Africa, having said that, please support Jaiz Bank. You guys stay tuned to this episode. We have an interesting episode today, to say the least. In the first segment, we have some interesting stories ranging from Islamophobia in Germany to McDonald's in America. Is it truly halal? If you're biting into those Big Macs, is it really halal? Having said that, in the second segment, we have an interesting perspective, an interesting guest. It's the first time on Huda TV. We're going to be discussing the Christian perspective of living in the Middle East post-Arab Spring. And you guys are talking about Huda TV, not giving you guys more perspectives. We're giving you the biggest perspective we can. And I'm really looking forward to this interview. And I hope you guys stay tuned to learn more about the Christian experience post-Arab Spring right here on Huda TV. Having said that, I got to welcome on board my co-pilot, Ahmed Fawzi. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The Ummah tonight's like an airplane. We're flying it together.
Yeah, we're trying.
So, brother, what's the first news piece you want to hit the viewers with?
Inshallah, today we're having Muslim growth sharpens German Islam fear. And also, we're having for the viewers, we're having a story coming from Thailand, which is police sells Rohingya refugees.
Okay.
Also, we want our viewers to stay tuned for a nice story from Canada, which Muslims honor positive citizens.
Okay,
and as you said, we are speaking about halal food from Michigan. So
what about the first one, the Germans fear growth of Islam, brother? What is this about?
In the news, we're seeing here, inshallah, the growing numbers of Muslims in Germany are sharpening stereotypes and attributes against minorities and escalating fears of Islam. A university-educated woman from Cologne told Deutsche Welle, for decades, women fought for equal rights, and we have attained something, and now women are choosing to wear headscarves. She said, I don't want that, and it scares me.
SubhanAllah. I mean, if I can interview Brother Ahmed, the viewers on the screen now, they're looking at Germany right now, so they can check out the report. And go ahead, brother.
Yeah. In the same news, we're seeing that the opinion of the Cologne woman is shared by many Germans who see the spread of Islam as a threat to their society. If we're speaking about this news, inshallah, we gotta remember that if we would like to know more about Islam in Germany, Islam is the largest minority religion in the country, in Germany.
A lot of Turkish immigrants and Arab immigrants, I think, as well, yeah.
Of course, and as of 2009, there are 4.3 million Muslims, which is 5.4% of the population. Of these 1.9 millions are German citizens. 2.4%, and as of 2006, about 15,000 converts are of German ancestry.
Like brother, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Like in the video, brother Sheikh Pierre Vogel. That was Sheikh Pierre giving the street dawah there. I really like that, brother, but go ahead.
Speaking about Per Vogel, Per Vogel was born, Per Vogel actually is one of the well-known Muslims in Germany now, and Per Vogel was born in Friesen, 1978. Also known as Abu Hamza.
Yes, and he's been on
and I can tell a nice story about Hamza, but after speaking about Abu Hamza himself, he's German Islamic preacher and former professional boxer, for those they don't know about him more. Vogel converted to Islam in 2001 and shortly thereafter began courses on Islamic studies in Germany. For 2 years, he studies Islamic laws in Arabic and Quran at the private school in Qura in Mecca. Vogel is really known now in Islamic society because of his well-known video. I think the brother, inshallah, I'd like inshallah to show it. And in this video, about 17 people convert to Islam in public after speech he gave with Dr. Bilal Phillips, as I remember. MashaAllah.
If I can get in here real quick, what I like about Pierre Vogel is that he's very effective because he speaks very truthfully and openly and honestly, although some people say he's a bit aggressive.
Yep.
But when you listen to him, you get the full picture. You understand his opinion and where he stands. So I think people should appreciate that kind of truthfulness.
Yep.
So yes, we've had Pierre Vogel on the program before. I look forward to having him again in the future, inshallah. If he's watching, I wish he could give us a call if he's here locally now.
Yeah,
so of course, brother, but this headline, Germans fear growth of Islam, I mean, that's a little bit scary. I mean, the last time the Germans feared the growth of a religious group, the Jews, they gave them the Holocaust, astaghfirullah.
Yeah.
So we certainly hope that they don't try to give the Muslims another Holocaust.
Yes.
And I can't understand, brother, why in a liberal democratic society, when your religion is not taken into account in any legal documents or in the type of government, the governmental system there, it's not ruling, it's ruling by secular liberal democratic law. What should it matter if a woman covers her head with a piece of cloth? Or what should it matter if a woman says she's a Muslim or a Christian for that matter, or a Jew? Why is this important to Germans? Why should they fear the growth of Islam? I don't understand. It's like Islam has become like a boogeyman and a scapegoat that everybody gets to pick on them these days.
Yeah, in my point of view, I don't like to be as a lot of people, they are whiners. We are not whiners. We are not going to speak many times about people are oppressing us because of headscarves or blah blah blah, but every time would like to give the clear message.
So that's right.
This is liberty. If you let people just go with the way they would like to go, as we heard before, and we showed the news before, I think in the first episode I was in, that they give more liberty to gays. It's preferable to give liberty to those they believe in God.
Right, of course.
With the way they would like.
Right.
It's not only about Muslims, but about other religions.
Right, I agree. Everyone, right. I mean, what's the problem? Europe, Germany, France, Holland, what's the problem, guys? They claim the French Revolution and all these high-minded values about equality and freedom, but recently it seems like there's this hatred against Muslims, and they have become hypocritical against their own values. SubhanAllah, even in the UK, brother, when we said that there was a niqab ban there,
yes.
Recently, from what I understood,
and in France too.
And in France, this is known in France.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the UK, people said, Muslim people there always said, you know, we appreciate living here because they give us many freedoms that we didn't even have back home. But now it seems like the tide is changing. So SubhanAllah.
SubhanAllah. Inshallah, yani, mashallah, when we speak about Muslims in these communities, we know that Muslims, mashallah, share in the communities with positive. And we have a news, as I told you guys, inshallah, in Canada, but we're going to jump to another news in Thailand first.
And brother, right before we get to the news real quickly, I'm really excited about having our second guest because,
sure.
Brother, Egyptian activist and Egyptian Christian in the second segment, Brother Fadi Yusuf, because he doesn't give us a perspective of the Christians in the Middle East, because we talk about the perspective of the Muslims in Europe. So we're going to compare and contrast, inshallah.
The same issue.
Yeah, so it's going to be nice, inshallah.
In the West and here in the East or the Middle East.
And inshallah, yeah, it's going to be nice, inshallah. Having said that, let's go to our may Allah help the German Muslims and the Muslims all around the world. Let's go to the second news piece. You said something about Thailand, brother. Go ahead.
Thailand still Rohingya Burmese refugees. Burmese refugees from Thailand, adding to their plight. Burmese Muslim escaping from state-sponsored persecution are being intercepted and sold by Thai police to human traffickers.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, to give the guys at home a little bit of background, remember in Burma, it's been going on there a long time, the Buddhist population, and the Dalai Lama was quiet on this. SubhanAllah, yeah. They killed many Muslim people. They're from a different ethnic group, and they want to kick them out to Bangladesh. They had nowhere to go. Now the Thailand government or people are selling them and trading them like animals. The Muslim world has been largely quiet. I mean, we do hear people making dua and the prayers for them, but there's no real hard action. Yeah. But the plight of the Burmese Muslims has been really an embarrassment to the Muslim world, and really a wake-up call for the United Nations, the the Arab League, all these organizations, and what do they do? May Allah help us. It's really alarming and sad. And I always mention this, brother. We always hear about how Muslims are terrorists in America and the Buddhist people are so peaceful. The Dalai Lama, I don't believe he said a word on this. And even that woman in Indonesia or Thailand, I believe, that recently won the Nobel Peace Prize, I forgot her name. She recently won the Nobel Peace Prize. She barely said a word about this after she was prompted to say it, and they asked her over and over again, and then she finally said something like, something very small. So I think this is a very a tragedy, a very sad story.
From the beginning to the end, actually, even when they went to Thailand, they wanted to seek refuge of this country, and unfortunate, they found what we all of us didn't expect that they will do, that the police took them and just sold them to human traffickers. And as we know about Thailand, that they have a big percentage of human traffickers.
Yeah, they have a lot of sex crimes there and perverts, and I believe Bangkok is like the HIV capital of the world because there's so many perverted things.
In this regard, I don't like to speak about the rights of refugees according to the international laws, as we have to ask about this and why they did that and what are the international community is going to respond to this move, but also would like to show the mercy of Islam in this regard. In the Holy Quran, as we know, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, in chapter Al-Ma'idah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the very beginning verse say, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu awfu bil-uqud, O you who believe, or you have believed in this religion, fulfill your contracts and obligations. Subhanallah,
yes,
may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on those people, those refugees from Burma, and inshallah we hope that we hear good news about them soon, inshallah.
Brother, having said that, I think you have another news story about Canada. But before we get to this story, I want to throw something in here. I didn't tell you before the program, but I just remembered it. I saw this piece of news which was really ironic. It says here, I saw this on Al Jazeera International, it says on CNN, it says CIA operative, his name was John Kirikato, it was like a Greek name actually, I should know it, goes to prison for 2 years. He's the guy for some small crime. He's the guy who blew the whistle on the torture in Guantanamo Bay. So now before he's going to serve his prison sentence, he's been convicted, sentenced to 2 years in prison. He's in America now, in Virginia. He's going on all the stations via Skype, like on these programs, like Ummah Tonight, okay, like on the stream, and he says, since they began torturing at Guantanamo Bay, I'm the only one that's going to prison. I'm the one who told on the people for torturing, but I'm the one that's going to prison. So for me, blowing the whistle on the torturers, and they had videos of them holding people down and pouring water on their face. He says, all those people that committed the torture, they didn't go to prison. I'm going to prison. So subhanAllah, I don't know what else to say. I just really want to mention it live on the program as Allah is my witness. I mean, this really, subhanAllah, I mean, for the world to see. And you can look at it, you can look at home, you guys. CIA operative John Kiratiku goes to prison for 2 years, blowing the whistle. Put that on Google and check that out. So having said that, brother, let's go to the next story. What do you have for us? Canadian Muslims honor.
In Canada.
Okay, let's go to Canada.
Good, positive image of Muslims. We would like to, as always, Canada is being the first in this news, actually, in this. And
it's like the United Nations' favorite country, Canada. Everybody loves Canada.
Mashallah, we don't like to envy them. So in Canada, Muslims honor positive citizens, recognizing their contributions to the society. The Muslim community in the Canadian capital, Ottawa, has held a special ceremony to honor its members who were granted the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal.
Yes, subhanAllah.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing. That's a very nice gesture, isn't it?
Yeah, Bismillah, mashallah. Yeah, this is really nice. We see in the news that the President of the Muslim Coordinating Council, MCC, told Ottawa citizens, and his name is Muhammad Zakaria Khan, it's a blessing to see so many people coming together to serve their community. I think this is a message of Islam and also a message to all Muslims in the West. You have to share in your community. You have to build your community. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us. We came here to this universe. We came here to this universe to worship God, to worship our Lord, and also to build, to save people, to save the world, to share in our community, to build with others, to bring from other civilizations to build in our countries. And if we are speaking in this regard about our countries and our love to our country, we gotta remember the great example of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when they got him out of his city, Mecca. What he said while he was going out, he said, "You know that I love you." He was speaking to his city, Mecca. "You know that I love you, and unless your people get me out of, or keep me out of my of you, I'm not gonna leave you."
I would have stayed.
Subhanallah, yani. This is to teach us, this story just to teach us that our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if we truly follow him, we have to love our countries as he loved his country, and we have to share in our communities with positive interventions, and like building and doing whatever is good for the country, as far as it's not against our beliefs. And so,
brother, if you don't mind me throwing in here, I had a brother named Abdul Aziz from Syria via America. He was amazing. He said, "I do interfaith dialogue, and I reach out to other people, and within the limits of our religion, and it's very helpful." But here's the thing here, brother. The Canadian government here, mashallah, they seem very cooperative and helpful. It's a really wonderful thing to see. So it takes two. The Muslim community should be cooperative with their surrounding citizens as well as the government, as far as the religion allows. But the government itself has to be welcoming as well. I'm waiting for Barack Hussein Obama to do something like this for the Muslim people of America. It's yet to be seen. We will see, inshallah.
We'll see another face of the Muslims. As far, like we say all the time, that if you give me the nice face, I'm going to give you the nice work.
Right, yeah.
We see that in the Middle East.
Right.
And for those, they study in leadership and so on. If your boss all the time gives you the nice face and order you to do something nice to your, for example, if we're speaking about Huda TV, and my boss here just told me, we would like that and that and that in a nice way. I'm going to do it happily, nicely, and with a nice smile, which I hope that I see it on all Muslims' face and others' faces in the future, inshallah.
So that's good news. That's really wonderful news from Canada. How about this next piece of news? I mean, this is Mickey D's, this is McDonald's, the golden arches, like the over 1 gazillion served. It says over 1 billion served. Everybody's eating at McDonald's. Some Muslims in America, some eat there, some don't, according to their understanding of what is halal, what's not halal. Anyways, putting all that aside, brother, we do know that in Michigan there was some stores selling halal meat. Perhaps you can shed some light on it and give us this news story, inshallah.
I think for the series of episodes we done, we say to those people, they own companies in the West or even in the East, the Far East, we're not tracking you, but be honest.
That's a part of the Middle East too.
We did a piece of news about those people. They sold, I think, not halal food also in India. So now in Michigan, we see that McDonald's dishes out $700,000 to Michigan Muslim community, just to settle suit claiming it sold falsely advertised halal meat.
Do you have any more details about that? How did they find out it was not halal?
Yeah, this is a guy, his name is Ahmed. Of course, it's not me. I'm Ahmed too, but that was a guy from Michigan. Okay. So Ahmed bought a McDonald's, a Mac chicken sandwich from McDonald's in Michigan and back in 2011. And he discovered that it wasn't halal. As far as that branch of McDonald's showed and advertised that they sell halal food. Ahmed's lawyer claims the restaurant and which advertised as halal and sold non-halal food on many occasions.
But subhanAllah, brother, I remember when they opened this McDonald's and it was a big thing and so many people were happy and they said, oh, mashallah, the Muslims will become integrated into America, the kids can eat at McDonald's, blah, blah, blah. And in the end, it's a big lie. So subhanAllah, how did they find out it was not halal? Do you have that information or no?
Yeah, I think they searched about it.
We don't know the details, but that's interesting.
No, I don't have more details about it, but what we saw that they claimed McDonald's and they paid $700,000 just to stop this scandal.
Yeah, that's an interesting story. Of course, the halal meat, it's interesting when you leave the Muslim countries, you find yourself in an interesting situation. People have different kind of ways of dealing with that. You know, brother, you had a funny story when you went to Seattle, Washington. You said you had purchased some chicken. What happened after that?
I have three stories actually about this, but we're going to, I'd like to share with two of them. The first one was a chicken I bought from such and such
a normal
market,
a halal market?
A normal market, but they say that this branch is kosher and halal.
Okay, great.
When I got it, I just boiled it and I started to cook it, and subhanallah, just when I put my hand on it, trying to eat, subhanallah, this is like something I couldn't eat. And after investigating about this, I threw it away actually. And after investigating about this product, I found it wasn't halal. I start to tell people in the community, and subhanallah, when we talk to the people in the market, they start to take it away from the market. The second one was that someone converted to Islam because of the slaughter. Oh. Subhanallah, I have friends of mine, and since I went to the States, I couldn't find halal meat to eat, and I don't like to, you know, like eat so much of pasta and stuff like that.
You need some meat.
Yeah, I need some meat. So a friend of mine, he's a Muslim, he just asked me, what about just we buy a goat?
Yes,
and
great idea.
we can slaughter it in the place they slaughter it. And there I asked the people to slaughter it myself. So they said, blah blah blah.
And you did it?
Yeah, and subhanallah, alhamdulillah, I did it because I see it like every Adha Eid.
Yeah.
So it was funny to that person. He just saw me and my friend when we started to slaughter and, you know, like take the skin out, clean it off, and I saw him before slaughtering the meat from the back,
right.
Subhanallah, which is not I told him this is not merciful to this
That's not the correct
goat,
method,
and he told me, okay, let us see, what are you going to do?
Of course, yeah.
And he surprised at the beginning that I start to feed her, to feed the goat, and just bring the goat some water and the stuff like that, and then I put it toward the Qibla, and then mentioned the name of Allah, and then slaughtered it. Subhanallah, when the guy saw at the end of the process of the slaughtering, he saw the meat and how clean is it, and he's expert because he slaughtered like tens every day. Subhanallah, he found it really good.
MashaAllah, that's a wonderful story.
And he started to study about Islam because of this.
Subhanallah. He became Muslim.
Yeah, he became a Muslim later on.
That is an amazing story, brother. I actually slaughtered it in the United States as well. I recommend everybody do the same, because it's the best way forward. So if you guys are at home eating McDonald's in America, no more McDonald's for you guys, because they're liars. They said they're selling you halal meat and they didn't. So stop eating that McDonald's in the first place, you guys. Having said that, you guys, Brother Ahmed Fauzi, we got to land the plane. And we're going to see you next time, inshallah, next Monday, inshallah. And in the meantime, we have a very, very special guest. You guys at home, we have the first time on Huda TV, a remarkable new topic. We're talking about the perspective of Christians here in the Middle East. So you better stay tuned to Huda TV. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
In a game of golf, both the caddy and the golfer have the same goal: to get the ball into the hole. Interest-free banking is similar. With a clear view of the fairway, a predefined agreement without shifting targets, things should end up where you want them. Your deposits are safe, and your funds are ethically managed with a transparent and equitable approach to sharing risk and reward. No interest burden means more time to relax without the worry of nasty surprises. Rest assured, our interest is mutual. Jaiz Bank, Nigeria's first full-fledged non-interest bank.
I've been asked today to talk about the Quran and the modern world.
The religion that is acceptable to Almighty Creator is Islam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
The more you know about him, the more you realize how you want to be like him.
For every messenger, a prophet that Allah has sent, Allah gave him one dua.
Allah sent prophets after prophet, messenger after messenger to remind everyone, don't deny the Creator.
La ilaha illallah.
Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Thee alone we worship, and thee alone we seek help.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
Never on this planet walked such a person as Muhammad sallallahu alaihi
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to the Ummah tonight. You guys, I told you Hood TV is bringing us all sorts of perspectives, and today I'm really excited about this. We have an interesting young man. He's a political activist here in Egypt, Christian as well, Coptic Christian, and he's going to give us the perspective of Arabic-speaking Christians in the midst, before, during, and after the Arab Spring, and living in the Muslim world. I believe this is a wonderful thing to compare and contrast our usual topic of Muslim minorities in the West. So, Brother Fadi Youssef, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate you accepting our invitation.
Thank you so much for having me here on the show.
Brother Fadi, the Arab Spring, it's affected people in different ways. We talk about it obviously I talk about it from my perspective as a Muslim. So what about the Arab Spring before, during, and after, before the Arab Spring, during the Arab Spring, and after the Arab Spring? What is the psychological state of the Christian minority in Egypt, which is a substantial community, perhaps up to between 5 and 10 million people? It's a minority, but a large minority.
Yes.
So how are they feeling today, let's say several years now after the revolution of January 25th?
Okay, so let me start about the relationship between Muslims and Christians here in Egypt before the revolution.
Okay, go ahead. Before the Arab Spring.
revolution.
Okay, go ahead.
The regime has implemented and used the Christians, okay, to be the backbone, supporting him. Lots of things.
The old regime.
Yes, the old regime.
Okay, go ahead. The
exactly.
Mubarak regime. Okay.
Yes, and the Christians, as a reaction for that, they made a cocoon, and they've been only just together in community.
Yes.
They've been self-closed.
Yes, I agree.
But during the revolution, if you see the reports and everything, and you've been here in Egypt, I believe, during the revolution,
yes,
it was totally different.
Right.
We've been pouring water for people just to wash before they pray.
Right.
We've been guarding them while praying because the totalitarian and the police was going to attack them even. But after the revolution, everything has been implemented and used like an input in politics. And yes, exactly. And because the politics is never stable, never the same, so it will be used all the time, especially as the old regime has been using. I'm not speaking about politics now totally, but like you're telling, it's 5 to 10. So it's a bulk. It's a bulk that will be used in elections in any democratic state, not only in Egypt. Even the United States, we've been using minorities like African Americans, Hispanics. Exactly, it's the same.
Yeah, and I say that because also the Muslim minority in America, there's a certain psychological state, sometimes a fear of not knowing what's next, of being a minority group. Brother, you said the backbone, the old regime used the Christians as in Egypt, and we're talking about Egypt because you're Egyptian, okay?
Yes.
This is your real life experience.
Yes,
although I want to talk about your experiences living in Tunisia as well.
Yes.
But really quickly, you said the backbone. What do you mean? The Mubarak regime used the Christians as a backbone of support. What does
because
that mean?
right now, if you're right now statistically, if you're going to see the expanding of the ratios and everything, all of the votes and the people that are going to vote.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Like
right
a swing vote.
Yes, swinging votes.
They want to, it's like in the States.
As you told me, it's a minority, but it's not that's more of a minority. It's a big minority.
Yeah. So it's like a swing vote. Okay, I see what you mean. You said Christians have become here. They had a cocoon mentality. Cocoon.
Yes.
I see it as an American living in Egypt. I see that as well. They build churches, they build clubs, and and this is just the situation. They have a sort of the Muslim and Christian situation in Egypt is deteriorating, and the Christians and Muslims have sort of separate but parallel communities.
Perfect.
Why, and will that change, and is that good or bad?
Yes, and when speaking about Christian, I want to speak about religion. I want to speak specifically about Coptic Christians because you have lots of.
Yeah, we have some Protestants as well.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
So if we're going to talk about this, I've been always like in the university and in the community network.
I've been always, I want to participate in my community because this is my community. The feeling of minority is like an inside out, it's not outside in.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly, but it has been pushed, as I told you, from the previous regime, but right now we have the freedom and the democracy, we have to speak up. Right. We have to get out of this cocoon, we have to be the butterfly now and go to life.
Yeah, you have to get out of that cocoon. Now is the time to get out of the cocoon. We do have a report, but I want you to complete your thought. Did you have anything else on that?
No, thank you.
Okay. We do have a report. It's a report about an Egyptian brother in the United States about his thoughts about the revolution. When we get back, I have a lot of questions for you, so stay here. You guys at home, check out this report from the United States, an Egyptian brother talking about the Arab Spring and what it means to him. Go ahead, check it out.
It's a great start for not only Egypt, but for the whole Muslim countries, because Egypt is a very important Muslim country that if the revolution succeeded in Egypt, then the impact of this revolution will have a very positive impact on the Muslim countries in general. And I'm not talking here that we expect another revolutions in other countries, but I'm talking about the movement of the Muslim countries in general will go to the right direction for more freedom of religion, and more religious people will be able to speak freely, and at the same time to apply the Islamic laws in Muslim countries, and we will see the Muslim Islamic economy that we were dreaming about it all these years, and we will see inshallah a great prosperity in the economic life in the Muslim countries.
Phone call.
I feel that they are very happy, very optimistic about it, even though that they are kind of a little bit disappointed from the position of the oppositions in Egypt, from the rulers in Egypt, because people are kind of not patient enough with their new leadership in Egypt, and they have to give them some time to settle down everything. They have to remember that they have been under corruption system and regime for decades, and there is no ruler on earth can change everything in days or months or even.
All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that report. If you, I hope you recognize Brother Ahmed Rajab reporting for us there with Brother Omar Dunlap behind the scenes. Brothers, thank you for that report. You know, we do have actually, Fadi, we have a phone call from, I believe, one of your colleagues from Cairo University, right? Yes. Egyptian journalist and also working for Reuters.
Yes, comes from Reuters, yes.
Okay, Brother Tamim Dia, and I apologize for my mispronunciation of your name, brother. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing great by the grace of Allah. Thank you for joining us. Brother, I'm here with Fadi Youssef, and we're talking about the Christian experience post, during, and pre-Arab Spring revolutionary Egypt. So my question to you, Brother Tamim, is I always found Egypt to be a model for interfaith relationships and goodwill, especially obviously between Muslims and Christians. However, I must say I do find that deteriorating, and I think it's getting worse and worse. And you see a divide between communities, and whether that's the fault of the Egyptian people themselves playing politics or outside Western influences, as we always like to say. I mean, I don't know, Allah Alam. What is your opinion with that in that regard, brother?
Well, the Muslim-Christian relationship in Egypt, there are two dimensions if you want to look at it. The direct problem we are having now is that the religious speech is leaning toward extremism right now from both sides. People, that there is a continuous incitement and hate speech being directed at both communities, Muslims and Christians. But if you look at the big picture and put it in the context, the bigger context, there is no real problem between Muslims and Christians in Egypt. There is no real major problem. But the problem is that we have kept. The Egyptian society has kept a good social fabric. the problem happened when during the introduction of the modern state in Egypt. The introduction of the modern state at the early 20th century, it interfered a lot in this social fabric. The state interfered in people's disrupted people's social behavior, and then during the past 3 or 4 decades, the state, the corruption and the abuse of power has led people to lean toward the religious communities more than to the state, than to the original social fabric. So now you find in Egypt Muslims leaning toward their sheikhs as their model, as their back, as a reference in life. They identify themselves as a Muslim community. The Christians at the same time, they are leaning toward their religious leadership as the reference. They are isolating themselves as a Christian community, and at the same time the leadership has changed. The kind of interaction, the kind of religious intercourse has changed, and it's more extreme now. So this is why we can see the situation on the ground deteriorating.
SubhanAllah, Brother Tamim, I certainly appreciate your time. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for calling in, and of course, please call back anytime to our program, the Ummah Tonight. Thank you for your participation. Thank you so much, brother. Fadi, I mean, I want to pose to you the same question. First of all, I'm 30 years old, brother. How old are you?
You're 24.
You're 24 years old, so you're still a youngster. So I want you to compare the relationship of Christians and Muslims today in Egypt, in your personal experience, and to the stories you've heard from your parents. I used to think Egypt was a model, and it used to be a model for good faith relations between people.
Interfaith, yes.
Interfaith, right? But now I think it's deteriorating.
Yes.
What is your opinion?
Okay, so I'm going to just refer back briefly about the Christians have been seeking asylum all of the past life, as Tamim said, for the past 30 years, and maybe I can say for the past 40 or 50 years. But right now, the whole idea of just dividing and diversifying the community is because we're not a race-based country.
Yes.
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 But right now they are trying to go to Upper Egypt and the Nubian community.
Right.
But what's the difference here? It's the religion.
Yeah, but this is the problem. The good thing that they have here, the situation between Muslim and Christian, I'm sorry to interrupt you, is that ethnically they're exactly the same and they speak exactly the same language. Okay?
Exactly.
But the problem is some people within the church, they promote an idea. It's a long story that
yes, they do that. I agree with you. Yes.
Anyway, complete your thought, then I'll hop in there. Complete your thought.
Okay, so what I've heard from my father, because we're just a moderate family, we're just normal people dealing with all kinds. Because as you told me, if you're going to make it like a ratio, we're 90 millions in Egypt.
Right.
If the Christians are 10, I'm not saying this for granted. I don't
for
know
example,
the exact statistics. Exactly. So it's 1 to 8.
Right. Okay.
So if you're gonna just diversify it and just implement it in all of the community, so if you have it will be 10%, and it will be 1 to 8, even in a building.
Right.
So we have to get into feasts and celebrate feasts together.
Right.
Same, exactly. So we do that. We even used to buy clothes, and we used to get to slaughter meat.
Right.
Even yes, in Adha Eid.
Yeah.
In Adha feast.
Yeah.
It's still the same. But for other people, and this is the majority in Coptic Christians.
Right.
We have stories, and in the same way, you have a story. Not you. It's the other side, the Muslims have stereotypes.
They have stereotypes against each other.
Exactly, because the symbol of the Coptic Christian Church, it's the line. People think that we have lines at home, so this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
exactly.
But brother, in the United States, where I come from, there's plenty of interfaith dialogue. There's communication. And Dr. Muhammad Salah, the host of the Fatawa show here, he always says one thing. He always goes to interfaith dialogue, and he says, "I believe in communication." But I see here in the Middle East, they don't do that. There's like these lines drawn. I'm Muslim and you're Christian, and there's not a lot of faith dialogue between communities. We hope that changes in the future. Go ahead.
Exactly. We don't want to relate it to religion. Let's relate it to mentality and region. Let's relate it to Orientals.
Okay.
Exactly, and mostly are Middle Easterns, but because it's different, because you're an American, you come from San Francisco, you know about the community and the State of the Union, how it started, you know the history.
Right.
But here it's different. It's totally different.
Okay.
So we can compare this to that, but the things that I believe we're going in a way right now, it's democracy, it's open up, it's interfaith, as you said, all of this gathering and exchanging souls.
It will get better, inshallah.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah, I think over, sometimes you take a step forward to go 2 steps back. I think they're in like a little bit of a transition mode, but inshallah it will be better.
We will reach equilibrium, yes.
Yeah, and by the way, I always say the Middle East is a model for interfaith relationships because we see a lot of bad things happening in other countries. And alhamdulillah, I think for the most part things are going well here.
Yes.
And hopefully
with comparison, yes, it's way better. Yes.
And hopefully it improves as well, inshallah. We do have a phone call, sister. We have a phone call from Mrs. Noor Mu'taz. Assalamu alaikum, sister. How are you? Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for calling in. Welcome to the program. Alaikum salam. Thank you for calling. I can hear you loud and clear, sister. Thank you. Thank you for calling. Please go ahead. Give us your thoughts on the situation here. We're talking about the Christian perspective post-Arab Spring. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I can see nowadays is that there is a huge discrimination from some fanatics. And actually, I think that their opinions were already there, but they're just hidden. But we can see that the media is just displaying what they have in mind clearly and without any morals. So I really feel bad when I see that on TV or whatever and online. And I just want to say that that has nothing to do with Islam.
Yeah, of course, certainly.
So nowadays things are just going. I just don't want to say that it's worse, but things are being so clear on the media.
SubhanAllah. Yeah, the media does play. I agree with you. It plays a big factor. This is why we are doing this program. We want Huda TV to play that role in giving a better perspective. We certainly appreciate it. Thank you so much for your call, Sister Nordan. I certainly appreciate it. Fadi, we have so many questions I want to ask you.
Yes, please.
Where do you want to go? Let me give you the floor. I have many things I want to ask you.
Perfect. Where I want to go to the United States.
Okay, well, let's talk about the United States. Talk about Egyptian immigrants to the United States. You said many Egyptians are seeking asylum, Egyptian Christians to Canada and the United States out of fear of what's happening from the Arab Spring. But I feel something. I don't know why. I feel the Christians in Egypt, they don't give the Brotherhood a chance. They're scared of the Brotherhood. Why? I noticed in the last elections in Egypt, they voted overwhelmingly for the opposition candidate, Ahmed Shafiq. My question is why? Why are they afraid of the Brotherhood? They don't want the Brotherhood to rule. This is what it seems like.
Okay, so let me tell you something that will be my own point of view.
Go ahead.
Egypt, since the Arabs came to it and just casted away the Romans, it's an Islamic state. So it's not at all an object or a title or subject for negotiation here. Okay. It's an Islamic state. It will be always an Islamic state.
Okay.
But the things that, because of the brotherhoods, they were always at all time, they were just faith seekers and they were trying to dawah.
Yeah, they're propagating their religion.
Yes, the religion. But right now you're politics, and politics, my friend, is dirty work.
Okay.
So how are you going to mix this with that? You started a party. Okay. You've gone to the process that everyone goes to all over the world, all over history.
Okay.
But the things that what we're seeing, it just indications what's going to happen. If you're going to give, let me say, I'm not referring to anyone. It's a proverb. If you're going to give an ignorant a shoe gun, going to shoot his feet. Right. So what's happening now, as Norana said, it's morality. And morality is more common, it's more humane, rather than race, religion, and this kind of discrimination, and just you're putting everyone in columns and rows.
Right,
but the things that they have to be managers, like managing the community itself, because they have. You've been saying that Christians or Coptic Christians are a bulk or a large minority group in Egypt, but as well the Brotherhood is the same, politically at least.
Yeah, politically at least, right.
But the indications. I'm not so optimistic about the indications. Yes.
But I felt like people didn't give them a chance at all from the very beginning. They have indications they don't want to.
I believe they had a perfect chance to work the way through, but all the ups and downs, I believe. So, you give me a time frame. Shall we wait for a year? Give me a time frame. I don't know.
So, brother, okay, that's about the Brotherhood. I want to ask you that question because I felt like, SubhanAllah, I'm
sure. I'm optimistic. See Malaysia, see Turkey, Brotherhood.
Great.
But look at it, but here it's totally different.
We'll see.
So I might relate to Egyptian mentality, not at all to Muslim or Islam.
Okay, you're looking at it through your kind of a secular mentality, so I see your point. Okay. Although we have disagreements on this issue, I see your point. What about your experiences in Tunisia and Libya? You had travels to Libya and Tunisia?
Yes, I've been in Libya for, stayed there for 3 years.
That's a long time?
Yes.
And Tunisia for how long?
3 months only.
Okay, 3 months. But
long
still
vacation, yes.
A long vacation, enough to get an idea of what's going on there.
Yes.
What is the difference in feeling there as a Christian in Tunisia and Libya, predominantly Muslim countries, still Arabic-speaking countries?
Yes.
You're speaking your native language?
Yes, I tell you.
As opposed to Egypt. Go ahead.
Finish your thought. Okay,
as opposed to Egypt.
Okay, as when I lived in Libya, I was around 16, so it was a teenage stage.
Oh, okay.
This phase, and I was just astonished and surprised, but they knew that I'm Christian, and they were just wondering, how can you speak Arabic? That was the whole idea.
Very strange.
Yes, but the diversity and the division in Libya is tribal. It has nothing to do, because religion, they are 100% Muslims, 100% Sunnis.
Okay.
So you don't have what we have here in Egypt.
Okay.
In Tunisia, it's different, because you know all of the west of the Arab world.
Right.
They are all Muslims, or they have minorities of Jews, but no Christians.
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the Jews of Libya were just casted away with after the previous revolution.
Oh,
yes,
right.
not the 16th of February. The
yeah.
one before Surat al-Fatih. Okay.
So, but I see there's a difference here between Tunisia. They have a Jewish minority, whereas Libya is 100% Sunni Muslims, but divided along tribal lines.
Yes.
So, what did you feel more comfortable? How did it feel there?
I felt more comfortable in Libya. It was something new totally for me. But they were so open-minded, because they're all religious people. You know, you never have a teenage Libyan that doesn't know all of the Quran, has read it and over memorized it over times and times. So this is something.
Yeah,
I knew how to speak right Arabic, even here in Egypt, by studying Quran. And there I've tried the classical Arabic. They all speak it. But in Tunisia, you come to be the modernized state. Totally different than Libya. And the Jews, I've never seen Jews before, except there
in Tunisia.
In Tunisia.
Yeah.
But the people there, although they are Arabs, although that they are Muslims, mostly Sunni, but it's not at all in Egypt, because I can refer that. But the second, the mental state, they all at least have finished the high school diploma.
Right.
It's different, but that's why they started the Arab Spring, I believe.
Yes. And Egyptians always like to say we started the Arab Spring. I always remind them, I believe it was Tunisia.
Tunisia.
Of course, Egypt was a big factor later on, a big domino effect there.
Yes.
Take us through, brother. Many of our viewers are Muslims, and they want to know what is the daily life like for an Egyptian Christian or Arab Christian in the Muslim world?
Okay,
what type of business are you guys involved in? That sort of thing.
Okay, let me speak personally about myself.
Okay.
I've dealt with Muslims with most nationality. Now you're American. I've dealt with Americans, Muslim Americans before, Nigerian Americans. I've dealt with all Arab Muslims.
Yeah.
But about the daily life for me is still the same. You see, I grow a beard. You can't differentiate me. But let's say for women, about the hijab. You will be casted. Most of the Coptic Egyptians, the women, they wear crosses.
Yeah.
Even what I find it bizarre, men do the same. And this is kind of bizarre. You're just trying to put the focus on yourself.
Yeah,
and this is not at all correct. In order you to live a good life in a state, you have to blend in.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to do. But for me, I have nothing. I have, as I told you, it's mostly I've been 100% dealing with, let's say 90%, 80% dealing with all Muslims.
Do you feel treated fairly, brother? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, I feel treated by the church, not by the community.
Why?
Because they are the people that like two forces. One is pushing in, another is pushing out. But here, yes, this is what I feel. And intervening, you're speaking about other teams or other the other groups, that they are mixing religion with politics. You're exactly doing the same, but hidden.
Yeah, because the church is actually very political, and I always say if the church, they have a very, very influential, politically powerful role. I just hope that sometimes I question some of the moves they make. But anyways, you know that stuff more than me. I'm the outsider. I'm an American looking in, so it's a very complicated situation in the Middle East. Daily life for Egyptian Christians, for the most part, we have about a minute or two left. What type of businesses are they usually in?
Mostly, if you're going to be stereotypical, they mostly do with gold, with jewelry.
Right.
That's the most thing that they.
Yeah,
and of course, there is another thing, but I don't want the alcoholic drinks.
Okay, but for most part, we do know them traditionally for the Middle East, and you can see it. It's very open. They always have the gold shop there.
Yes.
Fadi, we're out of time here. I wish we could have you on another program. I didn't feel like half an hour was enough to really get into this topic. I really want to get you back on the show to really talk about the Arab Spring from the Christian perspective and their hopes, fears, and aspirations going forward. And are they happy about it? Do they want to go back to the old days of Mubarak or not?
Not.
Or not. Okay, brother Fred, I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on Huda TV. It's really the first time we've had this kind of dialogue on Huda TV, and I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, my friend.
We'll
need a bigger duration and more preparation.
Inshallah. You guys at home, thank you for watching the Ummah tonight. I certainly hope you enjoyed this program, this episode. Stay tuned next time, inshallah. Until then, I leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.